That's all right. Well, this is one thing, or the reason I like doing is it gets the kinks out for us. Hello, hello. Is everybody out there? Let's see what I see here. Who do we have here? I'm burning the hell up. This shirt just came out of the dryer. Let's see. Oh, hell. Am I still muted? Somebody says unmute. Can you hear me now? Her Monster Highness is. There we go. Take it off, James. Mike Bushnell might have saw my tweet. Oh, man. It is pretty damn hot in here. Okay. Man, it's good to be back with you guys. Really, really is. Let's see, who do we have in here? Heart Lady, Helen O'Grady, Ocean Mist, Aaron Gauthier, Alan Ellis, Nine Inch Nails Polite, Amanda Duncan, Yoli Stark, Doc Holiday, what's up, brother? Jason Weeks, man, what's going on? Thanks for hanging out with me. Amanda Stewart, hey, what's going on? Amanda Duncan, Lord Stephen or Stephen Janets, Kyle Dubs, Woody Woodcock, Hetty, what's going on? Anita Reinhard. Let's see. So, Riddick, quite on set, brother. Okay, so y'all do like this shirt? She hates it. She hates it. She didn't want me to wear it tonight, but I love it. I thought it'd be a good change. It's getting cold weather here, man. Really cold. But I saw somebody, I think it was Kyle, before I came on, asked why I was logged in under the Daily Useless Sports Trivia. And that's because I don't know how to. So, like, if I schedule a live stream and I go to my YouTube for this channel, I can't see it. But for some reason, if I go to that channel and go to subscriptions, I see it. I can log in and jump in the live chat. So, I'm really technologically challenged, and it's embarrassing. But to be honest with you, let's see, we took our tax refund in like 2000, I think, and got our first computer. And that, my wife at the time, well, she's still my wife technically, but she had to teach me the difference in left click and right click. I'd never been around a computer. I remember our senior year, you know, they brought us into the library and tried to teach us these things, and I just we didn't think it was the future. What did we know? Mike Bushnell, you said tax refund. I don't pay taxes. Don't recognize no American monies. I hear you, brother. You're gonna have black choppers flying over your house. I used to have my own tax business. I had a little office in a little town up the road here. I loved it. I used to work for I don't know if you guys know Liberty Tax, the ones that have the Statue of Liberty outside on the road waving. I used to work for them, and I've always done my own taxes since my first job at 15. My uncle taught me how to fill out a 1040 EZ, and so I always did my own taxes, and then I started doing other family members' taxes as I got older, and so I go to work for this company, Liberty Tax, and I'm telling you, man, I would sit there and do a return that took me 20, 30 minutes, and then spin the screen around and show them, okay, it's going to cost you $450. And I just couldn't take it. I felt so bad. I couldn't look them in the eye. So after a few years of that, I said, you know what, I'm going to open my own place. And so at the time, I had a good bit of money. I had a business that was really booming, a lot of cash flow. So I rented this building in town and opened up a place called Simple Tax. And I had a little sign made that said tax solution, affordable tax solutions for the average Joe. And man, got a lot of business. I would do a tax return for $50, and then I would only add $10 for each new social security number that I added to the return. So a family of four, you're getting out for $80. Shit, I loved it. But then something happened. I don't know what happened. Stars aligned just right, and I'm telling you, the bottom fell out of my life like that. It was like overnight. I went from owning two businesses to sleeping on Chris's couch. It felt like, and so here I am. But anyway, I think this might be my last night of doing these stories, and I told you guys, it's therapeutic for me. I love it. I really love getting this stuff off my chest, but I've noticed, you can just look at my channel and the views go down, 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 down. Every time I release a new one, it gets fewer views than the one before. And I understand, this was a Game of Thrones channel to begin with. So I totally understand. People don't dig hearing all that all the time. I'm going to miss doing it, but I have to, I don't want to just talk myself, into extinction either. So I came up with a few tonight that I thought I would share with you. And I think what I'm going to do is, I think sometime this week, if I can get the courage, I'm going to quit my job. I hate it. It's going to kill me. I told you guys about spending time, a couple nights in the hospital because of anxiety and stress, and it's all job related. I'm a one-man show in the office, and there's just too much. The business is growing so rapidly that I got it. I made it. I did all the contract negotiating, and I got it to where it's going, but I'm not reaping any rewards other than just extra stress. So once I do that, I'll have more time to focus and get back on this Game of Thrones thing, that I love and you love, and that's how we all met. I know you didn't come over here to hear my life story, but at the same time, it has helped me. It's helped me a lot doing it, and I get a kick out of it. So what I'm gonna do tonight is tell you a few stories, because another cool thing about doing these is throughout the week. I think, man, I should have told him that. I should have told him that story. So tonight I'll start with the story about when my babysitter shot herself while I was outside playing. That was so freaking crazy. So I'm about 4. I told you my parents were married young, and that was just doomed. So we wound up, me and my mom moved in with this old man. He was like 70 years old, and he needed a caretaker. So my mom decided that she would do that, and so she would cook and clean his house and sit out, his meals and his pills, and these are some really early memories, but I just remember it seemed like all that bastard kept in the refrigerator to drink was prune juice. And sometimes his weird daughter would babysit me, and I didn't really like that, because I was just telling the kids, she would like have me eating like raw bacon and raw hamburger meat and telling me how good it was and all this shit. And I mean, hell, I don't know how old she was. She was probably a teenager herself. Um, and I'm not saying like a plate full of raw hamburger meat. She tell me when I was hungry, go into the refrigerator and pinch off some and eat it, or pull off a strip of bacon and eat it raw, no cooking. And told my mom that, and so my mom was like, no, she's not gonna babysit you anymore. So she got her other friend to babysit me, and back then in the 70s, my mom would she would bleach her hair really platinum blonde, and I just remember she was so pretty. She really was. And I remember she had long platinum blonde hair, and she would like iron it on an ironing board and get it really straight. And sometimes she would do like, I guess, around 80, whenever that movie 10 came out with Bo Derek. I remember sometimes she would do the cornrow look, and look, she was just really pretty lady. But I'm outside playing. There was this kid named Billy who lived over beside this old man. I had to cross one road to get over there, but it was just a little dirt side road. And I was over there at his house. I'd go knock on his window, yell through the screen, "Billy, can Billy come out and play?" So I was outside playing with Billy this one day, and all of a sudden, all these damn ambulances come pulling up to my house, and the lady over there, Billy's mom or whoever, was holding me there and wouldn't let me go over there. And I see them rolling a gurney out, with a blonde-haired lady laying on the thing, and I didn't know what the hell was going on. I was scared to death. It turns out, though, it was the babysitter. I think she was trying to do some kind of cry for help or whatever, just being very dramatic. Because she shot herself, somewhere in the stomach where there's no vital organs or whatever. I think she planned it out. Crazy thing is, I was tickled to death to find out it wasn't my mom. Then we moved from there, and we moved into the house we were living in when my mom gave me that black eye. I was in kindergarten. She let that crazy woman babysit me again. So I just remember she kept sending me outside to play, going outside to play, and by this time I wasn't thinking about her trying to commit suicide again or anything. But when you're a kid and you're by yourself, you can only do so many laps around the house, and you get pretty bored. So I went inside to get something to drink, and I walked through the house, and I felt abandoned. The house seemed empty. So I walked through every room, and damn if I did not walk in on her having sex with her husband. And I had never seen anything like this, so I run back outside. I knew I wasn't supposed to see it. I think I did make one more lap around the house just to make sure I saw what I thought I saw. And my mom came in. I want to say she came in from work. I don't know why she used to love to just take off, leave me. So, but I don't remember my mom having but like one, maybe two jobs. I think one was KFC for a little while, and I feel like she just worked there to steal the ashtrays and the toilet paper. I don't ever remember reaping any benefits from that job, but my mom came home, and I'm like, "Mom, I think I saw Donna B doing it," and she says, "What do you mean? What makes you think they were doing it? What did they look like?" I said, "Frogs." I said her legs were bent like a frog. My mom immediately stood up and walked in there and just decked her. I mean, the lady's eye was swole shut for, a whole week. and I felt so bad for ratting on her. You know, but then you get older and you have kids and you realize that, you know, they shouldn't be screwing while they're supposed to be babysitting. But that is just a wild story to me that I don't know anybody else's babysitter sent them outside to play and then shot themselves. But I had when I was at that same house, I held that gun one time. The old man, he kept that gun under his pillowcase, and I had heard adults talking about that, and I wanted to see this gun, you know, because I watched Starsky and Hutch and all that shit. I wanted to see Hawaii Five-0. So I go in there, and I have this gun in my hand, and I'm like turning it and looking down the barrel, and I remember my mom coming to the bedroom door, and she's like, "Jamie," really quiet, "what are you doing, son?" You know, and so she walks over real slowly and she's like, hand mommy that gun, and I handed it to her, and then, you know, later she told me her first instinct was to like yell and say, you know, "put that gun down," and then it hit her, "don't startle me." You know, I was only 3 or 4 years old, so even though she was a young mom, she was pretty smart there, because I do believe I would have probably jumped, and you know, this old man was like 70, so I'm sure he had it, you know, had a little hair trigger on there so he could be sure he could pull the trigger if he ever needed to use it. But that was the very gun, the same gun that I had, she shot herself with. Now, I'll tell you another terrible story about this lady. Her husband that I saw her having sex with, we grew up in a mill town, textile mills. So she worked in the weave room, and these big weave looms, you know, the threads go back and forth, and there's a little shuttle that runs between thread and the thread between it to weave it through there. Her husband talked her into sticking her hands. He had done some research and found out how much money you would get per digit, per knuckle on each finger. And this lady, for him to get this insurance money, stuck her fingers down into that as that shuttle came through, and it took off like parts of 3 of her fingers. And she they ended up getting a big settlement and blowing it and everything. Another time he was in prison, and she talked him into trying to take drugs, and while he was out in the yard, you know, bounce him over the over the fence with inside of a tennis ball, and it took her like 3 tries. So she was out there bouncing the hell out of this tennis ball, and they busted her, and she ended up getting put in prison too. But yeah, man. So that I thought about that story, the suicidal babysitter, and then thought of another story, man. I remember when we lived in that house where my stepdad hid in the refrigerator, and hid in the couch and everything. You know, we didn't have heat there. It's like there were the oil tanks outside, but evidently something was broken, and maybe we had a slumlord and didn't take care of it or whatever. So we had to have a kerosene heater, a little portable space heater. A lot of people still use them today. And we were on food stamps. Well, my mom would send me grocery shopping, because at an early age she taught me how to, you know, stretch a dollar, or in this case stretch a food stamp dollar, because they used to come in booklets that had denominations on them, you know, 1s, 5s, 10s, 20s, just like normal currency. And so we needed kerosene too, and my mom needed cigarettes. Well, you cannot use those to buy, you can't use food stamps to buy things like that, you know, kerosene and cigarettes. So at like 9, maybe 10 years old, I take the booklet of food stamps, And I went down to the grocery store, and I I got this I got like a pack of gum, and I brought it up there, and I gave the lady a 5 out of the book, and I said, listen, I said, we're freezing at our house, and we need kerosene. I know you can't give me money back for this. You can't give me dollar bills as change. But I do know you can give me coins. Because if I were to give you a 1, you'd have to give me the change back in coins. So would you do me a favor and give me back change for this pack of gum in all quarters, so nobody sees you doing it? And I'm like so young, you know? And that lady busted out crying. I mean, I don't remember how much money she gave me. She did do the quarter thing. I think she gave me some more money. So I remember I went home, got my bike, got the jug for kerosene, took off to the store, and got some kerosene and my mom some cigarettes. And I took it back to her, and I just remember her asking me if I stole money or how did I do it and everything, and I told her, and she cried too. She told me I was her little hero and all this stuff. But you see, the crazy thing is, back then you could be 10 years old and say, I'm buying these cigarettes for my mom, you know, because my mom would send me, my mom at 10 years old would send me up to the store with a note, and I would come back with cigarettes and a case of beer at 10 years old. Remember, it was Black Label beer, cheap as hell. And it was in one of those cardboard little trays with 4 6-packs. And I'd come trucking back, 10 years old, case of beer and cigarettes. I remember that. That was really cool that I was able to pull that off. And like a week later, we're sitting there, power's off, you know. When you grow up poor, sometimes you turn the light switch on and no lights come on. Power bill didn't get paid. Well, we're in the dark with candles. And I look at my mom and I'm like, Mom, why is it so cold in here? Some bastards had come in our house and stole that damn kerosene heater, man. Stole it from us. I mean, the poorest damn people on the block stole our damn kerosene heater. Ain't that some shit? But I'll tell you, my mom and my stepdad, they were bad about, they would go to the bar. Okay, that's the story I got all the time. So I'm 10 years old. I have a 5-year-old daughter and an infant brother. 5-year-old sister and an infant brother. So they'd say, Jamie, if we buy you some comic books and chips, will you babysit the kids while we go to the bar? Yeah, no problem. So they would leave and leave me there for days. Days, dude. I would be changing diapers and feeding us whatever the hell I could find. And I remember we had like a little 9-inch black and white TV. And, you know, I used to sit in front of that thing. And, you know, you read the comic books they got you that Friday night, they're gone in a couple hours, you know. And so I'd watch TV and whatever was big. Solid Gold. I used to love to watch Solid Gold. I don't know if you guys remember, let's see, we had kind of a local show, PM Magazine. It was kind of a Entertainment Tonight type show. I used to love stuff like that. And Gong Show. But there was a time I remember telling some of my friends this in junior high, and they called me the A1 kid. I ate A1 steak sauce sandwiches for a damn week because that was all that was there, was a loaf of bread. And in the fridge, I mean, I would have preferred mayonnaise sandwiches. I would eat mayonnaise crackers and shit like that. I didn't mind that. But all the hell that was on there in the fridge was this A1 steak sauce. And I started getting slick to it. You know, in the beginning, you're making these sandwiches, you know, full sandwiches and stuff. And then I'm starting to think, man, they might not be coming back. So I started having to ration it and stretch this bread and this A1 steak sauce. And I don't remember, man. I don't remember. I feel like my aunt came to visit and was like, what the hell, you know? Like, I don't know where she's at. I haven't seen her, you know, since Monday or whatever it was. I don't know. You kind of lose track of time. But yeah, no shit, man. I remember fourth grade. We didn't have an alarm clock, and I got myself up every day for school. Walked to school, and had to cross these train tracks every day. Sometimes there'd be trains parked on there, and I'd crawl under the train, go to school, walk to school, and everything. And I remember that year, I made straight A's, no problem, and scored the thing says better than 98% of the nation's fourth graders on this California Achievement Test. I've seen a couple of my friends later in life had that same score, but I mean that's incredible. You know, I was the highest in the school. I remember him telling me that. And nobody knew, you know, what the hell my circumstances were at home. You know, like I said before, jokingly, I went to school for the food. But yeah, sure enough, they brought a dude down to test me, took me in a little private room, tested my IQ and stopwatch, and gave me like that Rorschach test or whatever, and put these red and white blocks out on the table, show you a picture and say, make this picture, and stop watching everything. They came to my mom's house and wanted to advance me a grade in school. I'll never forget that. And my mom said no. She said she didn't want me to go through puberty late and be picked on by my peers and stuff. And I don't know where those brains went, man. I really don't. I was always seemed to be the smartest kid in school, in my class, you know. And you get put in that academically gifted classes, and that was really fun. And but yeah, looking back, you know, it's a wonder. It's a real wonder. You know, how I came out of a lot of that unscathed, and then now you know, dealing with what I deal with now, it makes me wonder if I came out unscathed, something like a lot of this is resurfacing. You know what I'm saying? And dealing with, you know, what I've been dealing with, going through a divorce and everything. You want to give your kids the best you can, and you want to teach your kids everything. And I remember at one point my kids looking at me and go, you know, we know, Dad, we know you were poor, you know, kind of, you quit saying it now, you know. And so I had to ease off because, you know, I was just going to make sure. You realize as an adult, you know, it wasn't tough. It's not tough to make a kid happy. You know, there was, damn it, it didn't take but a few bucks to buy some food, you know. And you look back and, you know, but you got to let it go, because also at the same time my mom was teaching me a lot of cool street smarts, things like that. So that's one of the humorous stories I was going to tell you. All this was very serious, but humorous story. First grade, they pull us all into the library, and they're having this. The police are there, right? And they're doing this drug awareness thing for the school, and so we're all sitting there Indian style. I know that's not politically correct anymore. My kids tell me that. I'm sorry, but it's all I've ever known it called. So we're all sitting there, and so raise your hands if you've ever seen alcohol at your house. Have you ever seen anybody drink a beer or anything at your house? But most of the people raise their hand, and then they're like, raise your hands if you have ever seen pot. If anybody's ever seen pot. And few hands went up then, slower a little bit. You look around, there's like 4 of you, admitting it. I'm sure there was more. And then they were like, raise your hands if you've ever seen other drugs worse than pot. One hand goes up. It's me. And he's like, son, what drugs have you seen? I said, acid. He said, oh, really? And what kind of acid have you seen? And I said, orange sunshine and purple microdot. And, dude, them motherfuckers took me in the office. They came to my house. All kind of crazy shit. But the funny thing is, my mom, that was the way she taught me. Was, I just remember her opening up the tinfoil and saying, you see this, son? And this is this, and this is that. And if anybody ever offers you this, you don't mess with it. You don't take it. It'll ruin your brain and all this stuff. And so there was an epidemic at the time, and I don't know if any of you guys remember this, but there were people putting LSD on like Mickey Mouse stickers and stuff, and giving these little stickers to these little kids. And so they'd lick them, or fake tattoos, or whatever they were, and tripping kids out and stuff. So and that was the way my mom taught me. And so I didn't realize I was going to bring down, all the authorities to our house by telling what I saw. But that was really funny, man. I can still picture his face when I said orange sunshine and purple microdot. But she was a trip, man. She really was. And she was always giving me these life lessons, and I'm cursed by doing the same thing to my kids. It drives them crazy. Everything that we do, I somehow pull some kind of life lesson out of it. And let's see what time we got. 10, 12. I don't have much time, but since this might be my last one, I'll tell you this. Also, first grade, and this may be why I never put 2 and 2 together on that, but my dad took me to Charlotte to live, and took me away from all my friends and everything. And what I didn't realize at the time, because he had got a good job with the power company, and he was happy to bring me to this brick house that he was engaged in. They had this nice brick house, and he had this purple school bus that he had built and done some cool stuff too. And he'd bought a couple motorcycles. He was living large. He wanted to rescue me, I thought. And I started noticing that he limited me talking to my mom on the phone. And one day I'm at school, and I look up, and my mom is standing in the doorway. And I'm like, Mom? And she gave me this look like, don't act surprised to see me. And I knew, we had this thing, man. I knew. So the teacher was like, this is your mom? Because she had met this lady my dad was going to marry before. And so my mom was like, yeah, I'm gonna sign him out, and I'm gonna take him home for the day. And I said, okay, well, don't forget to go by the office. So we're going to the office, and my mom takes this right, goes out this door beside the cafeteria. I'm like, Mom, the office is that way. And she's like, shut up. And we go down these stairs out back of the loading dock by the cafeteria, and there's my stepdad that I've told you all about, in this old Rambler. He used to have this white Rambler. And they made me lay down in the back seat and took off and freaking kidnapped me from school. I had no idea that the whole time my dad wasn't going to tell my mom where we were living. He was pretty much trying to get out of paid child support and things like that. And so my mom said that through one of our conversations on the phone, she had said, how are you doing in school? And I said, good. And she said, where are you going to school? And I named the school. And so she looked it up and came and got me, brought me back home. But, later in life, talking to my dad, now his side of the story is pretty pitiful. I didn't come home from school that day, and nobody knew where I was at, and they had the police looking for me and all this shit. So in a weird way, I was like double kidnapped in a matter of a few months. My dad kidnapped me and held me from my mom, and my mom straight up came to the school and took me out of there, and never moved back in with my dad again until I was grown. But this was a weird night. I'm in a weird mood. But I do want to say this before we go. Anybody, all you guys, there's a good handful of you who have bought a shirt from my daughter. They're done. They're ready to be shipped. So they're coming at you soon. There was a little hiccup with, because not everybody wears the same size and everything. So you have to buy multiple packs of shirts and things like that. So there was a little hiccup there with her not having enough money to get all the shirts. So we got them all. They're all done, and they will be shipped to you. And I hope you like them, and I hope maybe you send me back a picture. And any of you guys in the future who would like to order one from her, this was like a test. I told her I wanted a shirt like this, and I think it turned out good. She hates it, so she didn't want me to brag about it or anything, but I like it. And she's doing long sleeve ones now for the weather, but we're doing, I think I mentioned before, it's $20, no free shipping, and for the long sleeve one, she's going to do $30. And just hit me up, email dustonTheThrone@gmail.com. I can take your info. I can put you in touch with her however you want to do it, but she's doing some really cool stuff, and we've got her set up pretty good now to start really popping them out. And she's doing some onesies for some babies who are, these girls are getting ready, some family members are getting ready to have some babies, and she's doing some tie-dyed onesies, and I think she's going to mess around with doing some tie-dyed sheets and pillowcases and things like that. And it's just fun to watch her do this stuff. And she's got a knack for it, but she keeps trying to learn new techniques and get better and better and do different patterns and different ways. So she's reading a lot about it, and we just got her a little book the other day on tie-dye. So it's neat because I've always liked tie-dye. She came along and started just making them for me, almost as just a special gift for me, and she knocked it out of the park as far as I'm concerned. But before I go, I'd like to look at these super chats, man. I didn't even see them coming in, guys. I kind of got lost, didn't I? I love you guys. Y'all put up with a lot of shit from me, and I surely appreciate it. So I got, let's see, Azora Hype. Dude, thanks for coming by, man. Dang, Kyle, I appreciate that. Take some time off, brother. Relax, refresh, refocus. That's exactly what I need to do. Literally, while I've been filming this, my phone's vibrating over here with texts from work. It's just driving me insane. Rough Girl Rough, thank you so much. You know, I don't see any kind of comment or question, but listen, I appreciate that a lot. George Sardiano, or he says, for some sun drops so you can forget about that prune juice junk. You know, dude, that's horrible. When you're a kid, you know, and there's a little bottle of something in the fridge and it looks really good and cold, and you open it and you drink that and it turns your mouth inside out. Damn it, man, that was rough. So I appreciate that a lot, George. Amanda Duncan, thank you so much. So do something that makes you smile. And that's what I want to do. As miserable as maybe my stories come across, I love every one of them. I could tell you so many things, so many adventures I've been on in my life. And, and then I'd like to gradually get into some ones that are funny, like, as I've gotten older, some funny, really funny things that have happened to me in life that are just like, why me, man? Why me? Do I have these freaking weird, fascinating stories? But there's a reason, and it may be this, it may be me telling them, it may be me writing them down or whatever. I don't feel like a success by any means, but I feel like, a survivor. And that's what I plan on doing. And I'm gonna do something that's gonna work. But I'll get back into the Game of Thrones stuff for y'all, and I'm so embarrassed about that stuff, because that's why you like me in the first place, and I've kind of let you down on that. Brendan Manus says, hey James, love the stories, miss y'all, keep up the good work, looking forward to listening to more of your stories. I appreciate that. I'll think hard, and maybe I'll just break out the stories as something special. Like I said in the beginning of the video, my views keep going down on these, so I listen to my audience. I get some good comments. I think there's a little core group of you guys who really dig it, but for the most part, like the general public doesn't seem to like it. And so I'll have to think on that. But again, for selfish reasons, I like doing it. It eases my mind. It helps me, get stuff off my chest that maybe I would tell to a shrink. So this is really cool. But I see those super chats y'all hit me with, man, and I'd like to see some of your comments, man. Dude, yeah, Mike Bushnell says all the views are down for any Game of Thrones channel. We need to diversify. My Little Pony is a good start. That is a good start, Mike. I'm a Care Bears kind of guy. I am really serious, dude. Ever since Pizza Hut came out with those damn Care Bear glasses in '83, I love them. I still drink out of them today. They are dishwasher safe, and I'm sure when they made them, they didn't even test them for that. I think that came along later, but they're still good cups, good glasses if you can get them off of eBay. It's like the green one with the shamrock on him. Good Luck Bear or whatever. He's hard to find. If you find him, man, you're doing good. Doc Holliday, thank you so much, Doc. So please don't stop these streams, James. Your stories are great. I appreciate that. And I missed out on a really good Halloween story last week, or last time I streamed, and it was Halloween. And there's a really, really good one there. And I'm going to have to get off here, though, so me and Chris can get ready. But JB says, strawberry shortcake for life. Dude, my sister did get a strawberry shortcake one time. Probably from a church or something, because damn, if my mom would have bought it, it would have, I don't know what the hell it would have been. I know she didn't get a real Cabbage Patch doll. I know that she got some lettuce head doll or something that was off-brand Cabbage Patch. I felt so sorry for her, but she got one, a real strawberry shortcake, and I know those things smelled so good. You could smell them; they smell like strawberries. But so. Yeah, it's Luck Bear. That's cool. A glowworm. Yes. My sister had one of those too. Now, again, I don't know if it was a real glowworm, but she had one, and those were awesome. But anyway, man, I love you guys, and thanks for stopping by. And you know, like I said, my daughter don't like this shirt, but she's got some totally long sleeve white, completely white ones that she's dyeing. So if you don't like this look, I kind of like it. Um, hit me up. Seriously, email me and we'll make it happen. Um, but I appreciate it, guys, and I love you. And I will talk to you very soon, like in the next 10, 15 minutes. Valar Tadias. Maybe. Let me see if I can get this damn button here. How do you do this? Hold on. I'm getting whispered to. I don't. I mean, I don't know. Is his name on here? Yeah. Let me see here. I'm being told, guys, not to leave yet. I gotta see something here. Sorry. I wanted to have my daughter on here with me tonight, but she refused. She said I lied, and I said she's so beautiful. I'd love to introduce y'all to her. If you saw my daughter, you'd definitely be wanting to buy t-shirts from her.
I'm in my pajamas, no makeup, hair in a bun. I'd rather not be introduced like this. Maybe next time.
You're making me blush. I'm sorry. You know how my brain works, Brooke. I can't see it. I can't see it. But I've got it open right here, so I'll go back and look, okay?
Okay.
All right. But tell him thanks. Thanks for watching.
He's watching, tell him.
Oh, thanks, Brennan. Thanks. I'm the fucking worst at this. I am the worst at this. Oh my God, I can't believe this. Anyway, Brendan, thanks for watching. Thanks, JB. Thanks, Wayne. I saw you on here. Thanks, Jimmy. It's cool. It's cool to see some people who like know me, watching me on here. But anyway, I'll see you guys soon. Valar Tadias. Let's try this again.